When I pull up to a place to do POTA, I'm normally pretty expectant of what I'm gonna find. And I'm in a really strange place, like another planet. You see, because I'm here in the Wichita Mountains. Look at that. And in this strange place, I'm going to be attempting 10 contacts for POTA, maybe a SOTA. We'll see. Stick around to find out. Baby Yoda to me, or as we call him, Aries. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Jeb's Tower that we just took a trail up to. Perfect day. So the Wichita Mountains were formed, it says anywhere from 300 to 500 million years ago. Now, some of the research that I found, it's kind of debatable about how tall some of these actual mountains were. But through time, this is what we get. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy with what nature did here. And not only is this place really cool for, well, nature and geography and things like that, but another cool thing about this place is it's got a little bit of mystery. Supposedly, Jesse James and his brother buried some treasure in these mountains. Maybe we'll get lucky. Not only Jesse James, but this was also home to Geronimo. He's actually buried not too far away from here, near Fort Sill. If there was ever a place that I would say reminds me of somewhere like Star Wars, it'd have to be this area. It's really cool. If you get a chance to get out here, even if you're in maybe northern Texas and you have a chance to see this place, it is really cool. Today is Saturday. It is a little bit busier, and I'm not able to get up to Mount Scott, which is where I was going to actually do a SOTA. But it's all right. It's a day at the park. We're going to still shoot for 10 POTA contacts, and me and Grogu, my own baby Yoda right there, we'll walk back down this trail and see if we can find somewhere to set up. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention here at the park, there is free-ranging longhorns, bison, and elk. And we just have this dude just strolling by the car while we're making some QSOs. That's so awesome. All right, me and Grogu, who is sleeping in the back there, because it got pretty hot out and he was getting pretty overheated, so we're actually in the vehicle. I got the air on, I got the noise blanket on, and I'm getting visited by more longhorn cattle. This place is awesome. This place is wild. Literally, it is wild. Literally. How cool is that? Oh boy. I had to do most of my activations from inside of Betty White, but I just kind of wanted to quickly go over kind of the setup that I have here. I was using the TN07 and I was using the base there, and I am actually getting swarmed by flies, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. I was using ICOM 706, and I have that in this military bag for a Harris Falcon, which I've done a video on. The 706 is then in a Armor-Lock cage, power coming out right there. So I use that for most of my phone or SSB activation. I thought this was pretty cool, and let me switch the phone around. I actually just got a really good QSO to Wisconsin from Oklahoma here in the Wichita Mountains using 5 watts. 5 watts, or the flies are just biting me like crazy. Got the activation for Wichita Mountains, but my last one, I just used my Zygu 6100 on 5 watts. And just one more quick look around here. It is just absolutely just a stunning area. Yeah. So at this point, as I was leaving the park, Mount Scott actually opened up. So I decided to drive up there. Well, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but this is the way up Mount Scott. I just couldn't pass that up. I wanted to kind of go through something before we leave here, and that is how I set up my SOTA bag. I'm always looking for suggestions. If there's something else that I'm missing, something that you guys would suggest that I have in there, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. I'm gonna try to leave a link for as much things as I used here as I can down in the description. I am an Amazon associate, so I do earn a small commission from the sales. You don't pay anything extra, and the money goes back into helping the channel. It's greatly appreciated. So let me show you guys how I set up my SOTA bag. Since it was so nice out, I decided to take the show on the road out to the deck. The pack is a Scarab 30 by Osprey. On the outside of the pack, I got my Meshtastic from Spec 5. This is a Tracker Delta. My favorite HT is the UV Pro with a signal stick antenna. And that's Birdie, and that one's Winchester. I have a POTA 20 spike. I 3D printed this part, and I just put these pieces of tape just to kind of keep the spike, and the spike is actually from a JPC 12 antenna. So it's got the M10 threads. And this just threads right into here. And this is a 1/2-inch piece of PVC pipe, and the POTA 20 just goes right over there. It's in the ground. The POTA 20, the Tech Prepper map. I don't really know what to call this. The Tech Prepper map holder kit. Got 2 pens here, 1 correction pen, 1 for drawing, and then a Cal Topo printed map of the area that I would go in with a little plastic protector sheet. Now, the paper I use for this is actually waterproof and tear resistant, and it's koala paper. I'll leave a link for it in the description, and it's actually worked out really well, and this is just printed from an inkjet printer. Inside here, got my Sunto compass. This is the MC2 waterproof little notebook and a little pen to write on there. It's I believe it's a zebra pen. Right here, I've got a little water dish, expands out for the puppers. This worked out really well. On this side, on a little pocket, it's on the waist strap, just a pocket knife, nothing special. And an older Garmin eTrek 20. So I have multiple ways if the phone doesn't work, which is what happened in the parallel forest. I got this, and I've got my Tech Prepper map kit. It's always good to have backup. Okay, we're gonna move to the inside here. And one thing I like about this backpack from Osprey is it's got a lot of pockets. And it's got one little pocket up here. This is kind of like my, well, things didn't go so well. Like I had to spend more than a day. I got two foil blankets, Mylar rescue blankets. I have this little lighter, which is USB rechargeable. You pop it open, and it's supposed to be fairly waterproof. You press a button. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Try to not do this with burning myself, but it's a little, yeah, it's like a little plasma lighter thing. It's supposed to be more windproof and more water resistant. Fire starter, which I just keep in the bag here. Flint and a strike. I have a loud whistle that I actually 3D printed, and this thing is really pretty loud. And last but not least, I got a couple of glow sticks. All right, let's unzip the main pocket here. There's a little pouch right on the top of the flap there. And this is kind of my, owie trauma. This is a SWAT T tourniquet slash bandage slash, multi-use. These are kind of nice because, I mean, look how small this is, and it can be used for a lot of different purposes than just a tourniquet. I know quite a few places that are now using these, and they've had really good luck with them. And I've got a bandage. I believe this is an Olays type. I know how to use, so we're good. All right, moving on to the radio. Little cheap, like Leatherman tool. Just, I don't even know where I got that. It works okay. And this carries my radio. This is actually a projector bag, but it works perfect for the Zygu 6100. Got a little 3D printed cover on there. Just have it held on. Oh, and the rubber band just broke. Oh well, that just comes off. And there you go. You can see I've got everything that I need. Just fits all in here, including microphone, power cable. I have a antenna, it's a QRP antenna. This is a LNR Precision 102040. I don't know how long I've had this, but it is awesome and it tunes perfectly. So this cable, USB-C to a USB-A type, can then hold my USB dongle for the 6100 when I run the R1 CBU firmware on it, which I like, by the way. I got 25 foot of coax. This is ABR Industries, and I believe this is 316. I believe it's 316. I'll double check on that. And this is for powering the radio using a Anderson power pole for a battery, which is further in here. Hold on, dog's barking. Okay, I just kind of packed up the radio stuff to make a little bit of room here. Moving on in the main pack, I have a life straw, water purification in case. Going back to radio stuff, I have this battery, which I put this foam top on, which fits perfect, just to kind of protect these and not short out on anything. 12 volt, 6 amp hour. I have a packable rain jacket, again, just in case. If I get cold, unzip it, and it actually keeps the pocket. This is built into the jacket. I'll leave a link for this. Been really happy with this. I believe this is the last part. I have a couple of energy bars, these pre-made energy bars, and a couple of little water packets, just little emergency drinking packets. This is just made for a day. This isn't made overnight or anything else like that. This is just a day. So let me know what your setup is. Let me know what you guys think of this. This comes in just about 13 pounds. I'll leave a picture of it on the scale. Thank y'all. Another quick thing about picking out a backpack or a ruck for going into the backcountry for day hikes. I would try to go to a store like by us, we have REI, and you can actually try these on. Some people may like the Osprey brands. Some people may feel better fitted with like REI's Co-op brand or North Face or whoever. Also, if you do go to REI, look for an area where they may have these on closeout. I got this for about 56 bucks. The only thing that's wrong with this pack is it's just missing the rain cover, which I could just get from Osprey. That's a pretty big discount and this quality, so can't beat it. Another little word of advice if you're going to go out there and activate the park, SOTA or POTA, ground spikes like this, you probably won't be able to get them in most places because just right below the surface, or even when you're on top of these mountains, it's all granite and boulder. You might have to come up with something a little bit different than using a ground spike. This is a tripod for a JPC-12, and let me show you what I came up with as a solution and to also help out there because it's it's really windy. Let me show you. So the tripod would be on the ground. You'd maybe put a couple sections of your JPC-12 antenna or similar antenna. And what I've got here is I've got a T-ball plate holder. It's got the hole right in the middle. It just goes right over. This T-ball weight bag, I just used these scuba weights that I had around the house. It's like 2 pounds, and you got a zipper on the top here, and you have pockets that go down here. So I've got like 1 pound, 1 pound, 2 pound, 2 pound, or whatever. And honestly, that works out pretty well. Maybe not something you want to take to do SOTA with because that's a lot of extra weight. If you go somewhere and they don't allow you to put a spike in the ground, which there are a lot of parks that do that, this is an option for you. And I found that this, with as close as it puts the weight around the center of the tripod, it really works well. And I've kind of tested it out a little bit here. Not as windy as Oklahoma, but it didn't move. I will leave a link to this in the description. Thank y'all for joining me. It's Brian, KC9 USB. It's an old HAM-DALORIan. I'm saying 73, 2,400 feet up in the Wichita Mountains in Oklahoma. Later.